Rebuild our inner cities, which are absolutely a shame and so sad. We're going to take care of our African American people that have been mistreated for so long.
And welcome back to Hannity, and that was Donald Trump last night vowing to improve the lives of African Americans if in fact he is elected president. Joining us now with reaction, former 2016 GOP presidential candidate, hopefully soon the head of the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Dr. Ben Carson, or Surgeon General, or you can do both. Maybe you'll be the first person to do both jobs. I'm trying to keep you busy for the rest of your life.
Believe me, I got plenty to do.
Yeah, no, I know you do. I throw out numbers all the time. 95 million Americans out of the labor force, 50 million in poverty. That's 10 million more than when Obama became president. 12.5 million more on food stamps. That's 45 million. 1 in 6 American youth, men, 18 to 34, incarcerated or out of work. 1 in 5 American families, not one family member has a job. It seems that the minority community, by every statistic, has been disproportionately impacted by the negative policies of the last 8 years. Why does the minority community continually still vote then Democratic when they're not helping them?
Well, because they're constantly hearing that these people are the ones who are going to save you. These are the people who made it possible for you to get this, or the other. And not so much thinking about, you know, if you really want to go back in history, the Republican Party was established as an abolitionist party.
Well, it's the party of Lincoln.
Absolutely.
Lyndon Johnson needed Republicans for the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act.
All of which I think have been forgotten by most people. But it is important, I think, for Republicans to really reach out to the African American community with specifics. To talk about how, in fact, are we going to create these jobs. You think about, for instance, the $2.1 trillion overseas, and we're going to repatriate that money. Well,
that's huge. Yeah. It's not billion. You're talking about trillion.
Incredible.
It may even be more, maybe 2 or 3 trillion, right?
And if we use some of that in like enterprise zones and create jobs for people, it would be the biggest stimulus package since FDR's
Jack
New
Kemp
Deal.
talked about enterprise zones. They worked. When we try them, they actually work. Let me put up more statistics, and I'm not trying to overwhelm our audience with numbers, but it says a lot. If you look at median income for black American households, 2008, 2014, that's down in actual real dollars. Then you look at food stamp participation, households, it's way up. You go from 20.8% to 25.5%. A 5% increase is millions of people.
It's a lot of people. And, you know, these things are continuing to happen. And education, which is the other big issue. You look at some of the inner city schools, they are failing.
All of them.
And yet you have
almost all.
You have politicians, they're protecting those schools rather than forcing them to get better by sending students to other places. These are the things that are hurting us as a nation.
But the amazing thing is Obama, with such hope, promise, yes we can, change, all that stuff. He didn't help black Americans. He didn't help Latino Americans. They're not better off today than they were 8 years ago.
No, they're much worse off. But and I believe me, there are a lot of black people in this country who are waking up to this.
You really believe that?
I talk to them all the time. Well, I'm hoping so, because we're going to spend time actually talking to people and laying out these programs, these ladders of opportunity that allow people to climb out of dependency and become part of the fabric of America.
You have a very powerful position right now. Donald Trump relies on you, meets with you, talks to you, takes advice and counsel from you. I don't see any way that you're going to be able to say no to be in his cabinet. The question is, would you want to be Health and Human Services Secretary? Would you want to be the Secretary of Education? Would you want to be the Surgeon General? Not the Attorney General.
What I want
to leave that to Rudy or Christie.
Well, what I want to do is make sure that, you know, the conservatives, the Republicans, the people who believe in traditional America win, because if they don't win, what we will get is not something from which we can recover.
But you were passionate during the debates about Obamacare and repealing and replacing with health savings accounts. If you had that opportunity, wouldn't you welcome that?
I will welcome working on that, and I will work on it one way or another.
You're not budging, are you? Do you think you're being considered for vice president?
You know, I don't even want to get into that kind of speculation.
So you're telling me to shut up and you're not giving me an answer? You can say, Hannity, shut up. We're friends. You can say whatever you want. All right. Dr. Carson, always a pleasure.
Always
Thank you so
fun.
much for being with us.
Thank you.
And coming up, we need your help. A very important question of the